And now, 3 rounds of Fade the Noise, bold takes, sharp bets, and guaranteed heat. Introducing first, the hosts, Joe and Erik.
Hello and welcome back to Fade the Noise. This is episode 9. Hope everyone's had a great week. We've got the full cast today with us. We've got our sponsor and CEO of Moneyline Hacks, Joe. How you doing? How was your week?
I'm doing great. Another good, solid UFC night last week. We'll recap that soon.
Great. Love to hear it, man. I'm excited, and I can't wait to talk about the White House card. And we've also got Angel with us, resident fantasy expert and sports nut. Angel, how are you doing today?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. Just getting back into the fantasy grinds, getting them dynasty drafts set up, and getting ready to roll back into things.
Totally get it. If I were responsible, I would do the same. And we've also got Aaron back with us, our MLB expert, college football, etc. That'll come soon. But Aaron, how you doing? How's your week been?
It's been great, man. It was like taking a vacation, baseball being off. I
Yeah,
hardly watched the All-Star game. It was just nice to
yeah.
take a break.
I don't
didn't
think you're
bet
alone
on
in that.
anything, so it was good.
Get
Yeah.
a detox from betting.
Yeah, it was a nice
It
little
is.
get back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a whole thing in the gambling community too, like all-star breaks being good for bettors because, well, never mind. Some people pathologically bet even when they shouldn't.
I was
And
still
All-Star-
betting. I was betting on summer league, women's basketball. So we still do what we can.
That's fine. I meant like people force it on MLB. They're like, it's all-star break, whatever. I know this guy's gonna hit 54 home runs. It is what it is. But it's good to take a break. So I'm glad that worked out for you, Aaron. Um, let's talk about something that popped up recently then. So the White House card seems to be confirmed. I saw some stuff that Dana said about it being like the biggest full or most stacked full card ever, and there was some talk about the location, like whether it was the West Lawn or I don't know the cardinal directions, one of the lawns of the White House, or there was another place they could do it. And Dana was like, I don't care if 5 people show up. They were saying like capacity would be an issue. He's like, I don't care if it's 5 people. Like, I want to be on the White House lawn. But I think it's pretty crazy. And as we mentioned before, Jon Jones is apparently back after a 2-week retirement. So I feel like some people called that. Joe, what do you think? You got your GOAT coming back, White House card, which seems insane. What do you think?
Yeah, that's going to be absolutely insane. Like I said last week, Dana's going to make a point to make this the biggest event. He even just came out and said that it's going to be the Sphere times 10 or something like that. So the Sphere was such a good event. I think they lost money and they're not going to do that much. So it's just going to be something as a fan to look at because it's not going to really be an event to make money. It's just going to be an event for America. Next year, 4th of July, I'm hoping to see Jon Jones on that card versus Tom Aspinall. I think Tom Aspinall will still have the belt. And I'm also hoping to see maybe McGregor come back. I know that's a long shot, a big hope, but that would be an amazing card to have them two headline. But hopefully from now until then, we can get some American stars to, come up because this is the first time in years that there's no Americans as champs. And for a card like that, you need that card to be stacked with American talent. So I'm hoping to see a lot of these up and comers. Hopefully they'll be on the prelims, on the early fights on that card. And I'm thinking it'll be a stacked card from head to toe. And I think they're going to stack it with 3 championship fights. So we need American champions.
That would be dope. And yeah, good point. I forgot about Connor, and also good point about Jon Jones. I think I remember reading that he said whoever's holding the belt at the time, not Aspinall. So good to know you think Aspinall's in it for the long haul as well, until that fight anyway. He's going to hang on to the belt.
For sure.
And the Connor thing also reminded me of this last week's drama, but we're going to skip past that because I have nothing to say. He should chill out. Angel, Aaron, you guys got any comments on the White House card, potential matchups, Jon Jones on retiring?
Yeah, I hear they're gonna have about. Oh, you got it,
Go
bro.
ahead.
I hear they're gonna have.
I don't really have much to say.
I hear they're gonna have about 25,000 people there. So those tickets are probably not gonna be for sale. With all the security they're gonna have, background checks, all that kind of stuff. It's gonna be on the South Lawn, is what they're looking for. So it's gonna be a crazy setup. It's gonna be even more epic than the Sphere, obviously. So I'm here for
Yeah.
it. and I definitely want to see some American fighters as well. Who knows who's going to be champion next year, but a lot of time till then to find out.
I was just gonna say, I just want to see John Jones fight at a place where he's gonna be excited to be at, doing his best work. Like that's gonna be fun. He's not gonna want to lose, of course, but I hope he's highly decorated after this.
That's a good point. It really is. Honestly, he's accomplished pretty much everything you can, so having an opportunity like this, some extra motivation to give it your all, bring your A game. I know exactly what you mean, and that's a really good point.
And him saying, he said to come back to be able to do it is like means the world to him. So, I mean, to do it for the country means a lot. So be like, hell yeah, dude, let's fucking go, John.
He did. He did say that. Well,
Yeah,
I'm going to blow past that.
I think just stacking the card with talent like Chase Hooper and Raul Rosas Jr., like they're two Americans right there, and they're both, have a lot of star power to them. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a bunch of American champions or number one contenders, but just stack the card from head to toe. Put the young fighters in the prelims, the up and coming good young fighters in the early prelims, and maybe get like some other stars, not American, just to make sure this card is fireworks, like Ilya Taporia. He has to be on that card. So if there's going to be 3 championship fights, at least have one American fight for the belt, and then the other 2 championship fights, put someone like Taporia in, and who knows who will be champion next year in the other weight classes. But yeah, I think that's the way to go.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Good point. And I'm also pulling for the 3 belt card. That would be epic, especially if each section of the card was like, on a normal card could be a full-blown main card. Yeah, we'll see how everything develops. Dana's going to do what Dana does, and I'm conflicted about the whole thing, so we'll see how it shakes out.
Dana's gonna Dana.
Yeah. And let's dive into today's topic. So first up, we're going to recap last weekend's UFC. Saturday was a very positive night, as you heard Joe mention earlier. It was the Derek Lewis versus Teixeira, I'm going to go with that, fight as the main event, and I think there were some predictable results, at least predictable to our resident MMA expert, maybe not the public or whoever sets the lines, and Derek Lewis did some Derek Lewis things. Joe, you want to recap the fight, outcome, hilarious comments after the fight?
Yeah, so Derek Lewis. So basically, I'm not just going to recap the fight. I'm going to recap the night we had for the Moneyline Hacks Network Discord. So it looks like fight 1 was a winner, fight 2 was a loser, fight 4 was a loser, but then fights 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 were all winners. Yeah, and then 9 and 10 losers. Fight 11 and 12 were winners. So overall, that accounted to a plus 10 unit night if you're following all the picks, all the fights. And those last 2 fights really did it for us because the co-main event, Bonfim, we had him to win by decision. He won by decision plus 200, and we had a unit on it, so we won a couple units back. But for the main event, we had Derek Lewis money line, and that was at plus 250. I gave out a 1.5 unit play on that. And then I had Lewis by KO for half a unit, plus 320. So just that fight alone, you're winning 5 units. And we ate in the Discord. We've been eating week after week on UFC, and tomorrow will be no different. So just for the recap, last week, that's it. But Derek Lewis, he did his thing. I kind of knew that Taliesin Teixeira, while he's tall, and it's literally in his name, Taliesin, I mean, Derek Lewis found the chin. Like when I saw them match up against each other, you expect, because, visually, usually the stocky guy is way shorter, but not in the heavyweight division. These stocky guys are still 6'3", 6'4". And when he matched up against Taliesin, he looked bigger than he should be. So once I saw that weigh in, I had all the confidence to fire that Derek Lewis shot. If the guy maybe was like 6'11", just ridiculously tall, then it might be hard for Lewis to find his range. But you're only 3 or 4 inches taller than Derek Lewis, he's going to find that chin. So, especially if you're undefeated, 8-0 prospect, very green. Derek Lewis said it all week. He hasn't fought anyone. Derek Lewis was right. I knew he was going to be right. So, yeah, he did good. One thing that confused me was that he was talking all week that he was embarrassed on the way he acts and what he says. And then the dude throws off his shorts as soon as he gets the knockout, and is same old Derek Lewis. So, like he said he didn't want to see his children's friends' parents look him in the eye after acting like that, but then he has another iconic post-fight speech. So, you gotta love the guy.
I do. That's a good point too. He's Teixeira's no Brock Lesnar. Derek Lewis can find the chin. And before we move on, really quick, so I think I saw Dana said that Derek Lewis might be one fight away from contending for the belt. Do you agree with that?
Might be even next. Could be cut in front of the line in front of Cyril Gahn. I mean, he's more entertaining of a fight than that, you'd think. Coming off this fresh win, I'd rather see Lewis, but it's just him and Gahn at the front of the line right now.
Yeah, I agree with Angel. I mean, and the number one point that you gotta note here is that it's the most shallow division. It's historically the most shallow division. I mean, that instantly puts you at contender.
Hell yeah.
There's a reason why Brock Lesnar got a title shot at 4-1 in the UFC and then won the belt and was 5-1. So this division's always been shallow, and one big win could always put you in contender as the number one contender in title contention. So one big win could put you in title contention in the heavyweight division, especially if you're already ranked, which Derek Lewis was.
Might even see Derek Lewis versus John Jones next year. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Here he fought Cormier for the belt. Derek Lewis versus Cormier.
Damn.
That didn't go well.
Man, that would be underwhelming, honestly. But thank you for sharing that. I honestly didn't know that Brock Lesnar ever lost, so I'm very curious about the end one. But we can talk about that after the show. Just some historical knowledge, and I'm very curious who can topple a mountain.
He lost his first fight. I'll tell you right now, he lost his first fight against Frank Mir. He was beating the crap out of Mir. Mir submitted him. Then he rematched Mir at UFC 100 and beat him down. Worst times anyone get beat down against a cage like that. He held his head in one hand and was just that's all he did. And that was the end of the fight. Yeah,
yeah, he's done.
The things in your brain. That's crazy. Just off the top of the head. Here was match one. Here was rematch. It was UFC number, and this is how he lost. He punched him in the head 46 times up against the cage.
Pretty much. I think it was around 30 or 40 punches.
Thank you. Before we dive into the upcoming card, Aaron, do you have anything to add?
No, I'm just glad that I was there for that one.
I feel it.
I mean, betting wise,
cool.
I'm glad I was. Yeah, no, I'm just glad there.
I was about to pause and ask you, wait, were you physically there or?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to correct that. I was reading something.
Cool. All right, then. Thanks, everybody. Let's take a preview of tomorrow's fight card. Actually, it's a big weekend overall. I'll let Joe address that because it's multiple combat sports and I'm uneducated. So I'm going to mention on the list is UFC 318. We're going to talk about Holloway versus Poirier and Vettori versus Allen. Personally, Vettori, I thought was washed when I first saw him several years ago. That actually might have been the Paulo Costa fight that I first started realizing I was disappointed in him, but whatever. And then I used to hate Max Holloway because of his face, but I came around on him. Honestly, he's a warrior. He's a badass. He's had some iconic historical moments, and now I support it. And I remember reading something Dana was talking about whether there would be a home field advantage on the card, and he was like, these are two of the most beloved fighters in the history of the sport. He's like, everybody loves them both, so whatever happens, there will be mutual respect and the fans will support them. So let's dive on in. Joe, if you don't mind covering UFC, I think BKFC, and then you might have mentioned another one.
Yeah, so I'm gonna basically I'm not covering each of these sports, but we have Power Slap tonight. I'm gonna drop VIP picks for that in our Discord. Make sure you join, and then that's the Moneyline Hacks Network. And then I'm gonna be dropping UFC picks for tomorrow. I don't think BKFC's today. That's next week, but we'll have that next week, and we'll get on that when it's time. So so like I said. Today, big power slap. It's going to be fun. If you like to see people get slapped, it's going to be fun. And then UFC tomorrow, 318, we have the baddest mother effer, Max Holloway. He's the champion. He has the BMF title. He's facing Dustin Poirier, a guy that's already beaten him 2 times. The first time Max Holloway lost against Poirier was in his UFC debut. So the first person Holloway had a fight at the age of 20 years old was Dustin Poirier. He got caught in a submission. Then the second time they faced was Max Holloway's debut at lightweight on short notice to face Dustin Poirier. And Holloway was just he didn't have the size in that fight. And I was rooting for Holloway. I was hoping he'd win, but I wasn't as confident as I am now. I think Poirier gets bested this time by Holloway. I think Holloway sends Poirier off in his retirement with a loss, but it's still going to be a close fight, and it's still going to be back and forth. It's going to be a war, and I see this going to decision. Like Poirier wants that three-peat, and Holloway doesn't want to be the first fighter ever to lose 2 three-peats in a trilogy. He lost one to Volkanovski, and now he's facing, Poirier for the third time. So he doesn't want to be that first fighter to lose that way. And there's a lot on the line for both fighters. A lot on the line. This is a legacy fight. It's going to be good. It's more of a striking chess match, but Poirier was more polished in that first fight. I'm sorry, Holloway was more polished in that first fight. He landed the cleaner strikes, had the cleaner boxing, but the difference in that fight was the power. Poirier just had the power. He's a real lightweight, and Holloway just came up to featherweight to save a card. Came up from featherweight to lightweight just to save that card. This time is much different. Max Holloway is never going back to featherweight. He's made that clear. He is now a lightweight, and he's put the lightweight mass on. I saw yesterday all his interviews. This whole week, he's a bigger guy than the guy Poirier fought last time. And I literally said, if Max just gets that lightweight body, he'll edge out Poirier. So he has exactly what I needed to see to be confident in backing Max Holloway up in this fight. It's honestly, this fight is more than a bout. It's Poirier's final bout and Holloway's chance for redemption. This trilogy closes in fireworks, or at least a war you will not forget.
Absolutely. That's crazy. And I remember actually reading, they asked Max what would happen if he did the center of the ring thing, if Dustin would do it. Well, you said you thought it could go to decision, so I would not be surprised if it happened. And Max was like, hell yeah, I think he would do it.
Oh, then they asked Poirier. He just came out and said if he goes like that, he's gonna go under his arms and shoot for a takedown and sweep his legs out from under him. So we'll see. But Holloway said he's not buying it.
Yeah.
Now he's gonna be swept up in the emotions of it all.
He definitely chickened out against Poirier with that middle of the ring thing, so I don't see him doing it against Poirier, if you know what I mean.
That's funny.
He tried.
Let's get everyone else's thoughts on the Holloway versus Poirier fight, and then we'll do Vettori versus Allen. So, Angel, you want to go next?
Yeah, Joe pretty much covered it. Poirier got the first 2 wins at the first fight. Kind of hard to count, first fight of Max's career, first round submission. Like, you can just get caught so easily, you know what I mean? So, I don't even count that, but of course you have to. But, down 2-0 in the series. I think he's going to flip the script this time. He's going to come out more confident as a lightweight, and I think he's going to either come for the knockout or go for the decision. You would think it's going to be an all-out brawl, so I don't know if maybe Poirier tries to go for grappling, maybe try to sneak in a submission and the career with the win, you know what I mean? But I'm riding Holloway in this fight.
Okay, sweet. And Aaron, we've got 2 going for Holloway now, and I agree with what Angel said about he might want to show off his whole skill set. It's his last fight, last hurrah, go all out. What are your thoughts on this?
Man, blood. I hope it goes the distance.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I just want to see it go the distance, and I want to see just rage. They both have so much respect for each other. They want this both so bad, though, too, for themselves. And, it's literally like a spoken dream that Poirier wants to end 155-pound fighter in the world. Holloway, I know he wants his money back, But I don't know, man. I don't really have a side, but I would put my money on Holloway. I didn't realize that those first 2 times were, I guess, that early, I guess you could say, in Holloway's prime, or not before pre-prime, I guess you could say.
Yeah, we're all old, all 4 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to go against that, but he's still gonna get hit hard, man.
I just see a Holloway who's the first fight, he's too young. It's his UFC debut. Such a disadvantage. The second fight, Poirier's been up at lightweight for years, and then Holloway moves up at short notice up a division, multiple disadvantages there, and he lost, I think, with a split decision or a very close unanimous, but it might have been split. What do you think is going to happen with when still in his prime or very close to it, more prime than Poirier, that's for sure. What is going to happen when these disadvantages go away and it's pretty even filled? I think Holloway edges them out, but we'll see.
We will see. Okay, cool. Thank you all. It's going to be an exciting main event. Can't wait to see what happens and risk all my money on it. That's the fun in this whole game. And let's cover Vettori versus Allen before we move on to MLB. So let's start with, actually, Aaron, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I didn't pick a side off of anything much other than I was reading about Vittori, and I guess he lost his brother maybe this year. I know it wasn't in April. I know it's still lingering, and it's a big fight for him. I know he's not a fan of Brendan Allen, and it looks like it's going to be great. I don't have not the real UFC taker here, but I was looking at that, and I was very interested in this fight for that reason. I like stuff like that.
Stuff with some story?
Yeah, something I
Like
can
some
get
history?
behind, like not just looking at stats and paper. And this sounds kind of interesting. Go beat his ass for me, dude.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Gonna jump over to Joe now. What are your thoughts on this? Vittori, Allen, they seem seasoned. What do you got?
Yeah, they both are seasoned, but it's some bad blood alert, as you guys should know by now. They literally brawled in the casino. Vittoria was just, mugging Allen the whole time during that casino trip. Allen wasn't trying to fight during that trip. He was with his pregnant wife, I think even his other child. So people were telling him the whole day, Vittoria's looking for you. He's like, okay, I'm not hard to find. And then they told him that again, and he said again, I'm not hard to find. And then Vittori found him. And then when Vittori found him, he was just looking at him. There was a bunch of people in the middle. And then all of a sudden, somehow Michael Johnson, another UFC fighter, clears the way. And Brendan Allen rushes Vittori because at that point he feels like he's a little B if he doesn't rush him and fight him. So he does that with the ego thing, goes and they brawl. They get in a little brawl and no one really got the better of each other. It was split up pretty quick. I think Vittori might have got cracked, but it was kind of like a sucker crack. But either way, he was looking at Brandon Allen, so it's kind of his fault. He took the eye off the ball. And yeah, both fighters are coming off of 2 losses. They both need this balance back. Vittori's wrestling is always great, but he doesn't implement it as much. Brendan Allen does have a good guillotine. I think Vittori used to have the edge and pressure and cardio, but like Aaron said, like he lost his brother, that could be weighing heavily mentally on him. And Vittori honestly hasn't progressed well in the last 2 years. I look at a fighter, their progression, how fast they progress, and their mental state. I'm very good at deciding if you buy high or low on a fighter. That's the basis to all my picks and to my UFC knowledge. And right now, I think Vittori's stock is higher than he really is. I don't think he's matching up with his stock right now. He beat Roman Dolidze controversially about 4 years ago, and then he just lost to him last year. So that's already showing you beat a guy and then the rematch and the guy gets the nod over you pretty convincingly. That shows at the very least stagnant. He's stagnant right now. So I think Allen's been progressing well. I think he's actually less talented, but maybe he works harder and it's clicking it more right now. I like this fight to go to the decision. So that might be the angle to play on this one, rather than just picking a money line side. But if I had to pick, I'd probably go with Allen. I think Allen might be the underdog as well. Actually, I'm not sure about that, but
He's minus 198 right now.
Okay, as he should be. So I'm aligned with Vegas. I think Allen has the edge. I think that's a perfect line to set for him, minus 200. I think a decision pick would be the pick to go with right here for this fight. There's going to be a lot of high volume strikes from Vittori, but there's going to be sharp counters and takedown entries from Allen. It's just going to be a fight that I think they neutralize each other a lot and run the clock.
Out, it looks like at the moment anyway, Allen by decision is plus 100 on DraftKings. So there's money to be made, and if you want to get the official pick, join Moneyline Hacks. Angel, you want to bring us home on this fight?
Yeah, Vittori, he's never been finished in his career. So I do like the fight going to decision, like Joe said. Pretty good chances at that. Vittori's a pretty good wrestler, but in his last fight, 5-round fight, he didn't attempt a single takedown. So you can look for a striking battle. Brendan Allen once had a 7-fight winning streak, but he's dropped the last 2. So I'm looking for him to get back on track. But yeah, Victoria's the underdog, and that's the favorite. Probably gonna ride with Allen in this one, but I do like it going to decision for sure.
And I mean, me and Angel are aligned on both these fights. Last time we are aligned, you know what happens? That
Good,
sweeps.
it's good stuff.
I'm liking it.
Let's go.
Yeah, I cannot wait. I just looked at both their ages because I was curious, and they're both younger than I thought, especially Vittori.
What are they, like both
Yeah.
30, 31?
One's 29, one's 31. Basically,
Damn.
nice averaging out there.
Yeah.
Your encyclopedic MMA knowledge is, as always, terrifying. All right.
I take all the important stuff out and I put MMA in only.
Attic theory. I buy it. Let's get into the MLB slate. So we've got a tricky slate. We're coming out of the All-Star break. In any sport that makes things a little tricky, different, dangerous, however you want to put it, you've got people that are more rested. You've got different matchups that wouldn't normally go this way if you're talking early or late season. So curious to see what our guys have to say about this. And we're going to kick things off with Giants and Blue Jays. So we're going to have Verlander versus Bassett, and Blue Jays are slight favorites in this one. Angel, can you kick us off? What do you got to tell us about this matchup?
Yeah, we got the Giants and the Blue Jays. We got the Blue Jays as the home team. Chris Bassett, 9-4 in the season, 4.12 ERA, going against Justin Verlander, 0-7, 4.7 ERA. He's had 15 starts this season and hasn't won one yet, so he's still looking for that first win. But I'm also riding with the Blue Jays. This Bassett is a 4-1. He's 4-1 since the start of June in his last 7 starts. So he's I'd say he's the better pitcher in this matchup. I like the Blue Jays bats. Vladimir Guerrero, Bo Bichette, they got some others, but yeah, Justin Verlander just doesn't do too good. He used to be a star, but I just think he's a little bit washed up. I don't know. I think he's had a surgery or 2, but he just gives up a lot of hits, gives up a lot of runs, doesn't strike out that many people. But yeah, I'm riding with Bassett and the Blue Jays today.
Appreciate the insight. And I always think, like, what if one of them watches this one day? They're going to be like, you called me washed?
Sorry, bro. I'm just kidding.
Okay, let's go to Aaron next, and then we'll go to Joe. Aaron, what do you got for us for this game? Oh, you're muted.
Sweeping my boy Verlander under the mat so quick. But I don't know, man. He's has, if you watch him, like I'm a fan of him actually, but if you watch him, he's got better control. He doesn't look so questionable. He went full 6 innings last game. His pitching outs were like 15.5. That was one of the last bets I took, and it's 15.5 tonight. I think he can at least go his 6, but I just don't have any faith in the guy, whether he goes 6 innings or not. I think it's more of I want to see. The Giants at one point had a great bullpen, and they were like a good team. And when they weren't a good team, they still had a good bullpen. But now they're like, what I wrote, 26 in expected runs per plate appearance in their last 30 games. And their bullpen is now like bottom 5. So I don't know. I was looking more at like a Verlander deal. I might just take his pitching outs again because I think he's due for it. And the Giants need to figure out how to manage their pitchers. They got Robbie Ray and what's the other big guy's name? Logan Webb going 90, 100 pitches. And if Verlander looks like he can do it, let him pitch. Angel was talking about schemes before we started. Same shit. Let him throw the ball, man.
Bro, 75 pitches. Come on. What are they doing?
So that's all, really. I mean, I was poking around that game for a little bit. The Jays were minus 130, I think, but I can't really give that to anyone now. I was just looking at his pitching outs. I think I'm gonna take the over on it.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. That line's currently for Verlander 15.5 minus 125. Strikeouts is over 3.5 for Verlander, but
Damn.
it's a little juicy at minus 150. Shop around, different books, different deals. Joe, you want to
Yeah.
enlighten me?
Yeah, well, we've been enlightened on Verlander already. He has a veteran edge for sure, but since joining the Giants, Verlander's posted a 3.6 ERA over his last 5 starts, and over those last 5 starts, he has shown an improved command. Just 4 walks in his last 25 innings pitched. Bassett at home, he has dominance. He's holding opponents to 2.218 average, and he has a 2.7 ERA in Rogers Center starts. So that's where he's at today. Toronto actually ranks bottom 10. Skip. Giants lineup rival, San Francisco, averaging 5.4 runs a game over the last 7 contests with Patrick Bailey and Tyro Estrada, both heating up. It's a veteran duel for sure. The under is live here. I'm loving the under here. Both starters eat innings and limit long balls. So, Verlander and Bassett may not be flashy in 2025, but it's a sharp man's pitching duel. This one screams tight, low scoring grind. So if you're interested in betting this one, bet the under.
Did you say his strikeout line was 3, Eric?
3.5,
Verlander?
so 4.
Damn. His last 2 games, 7 and 5 strikeouts, so there might be a possibility at that, but you never know.
If you want -150, sometimes the juice is worth the squeeze.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm just donating
feel
there on
that.
the pitching outs, and it's all telling that he's not even going to go that long. We'll see.
That's so
We
low.
can't know. They're rested, man. Like we have no idea. That's why it's so much fun.
True.
All right, we'll get on to our next game. We've got the Orioles at the Rays. We're going to have Mr. Morton facing Bradley. The Rays are slight favorites at home. And let's kick things off with Joe this time. What do you got for this
Cool.
one?
Yeah, so Orioles at Tampa Bay Rays. Like you said, Charlie Morton pitching for the Orioles, Taj Bradley pitching for Tampa Bay. I think the Orioles are like a momentum machine right now. They've won 7 of their last 10 and leads MLB in first inning scoring rate since July 1st. Bradley's, he has a boomer bust profile. 31.6% strike rate is elite, but he's been lit up, absolutely lit up by high contact teams, and Baltimore is a high contact team. Yeah, and then the Rays, they're just having an offensive skid right now. 2.8 runs averaged in their last 10, and bottom 5. In OPS since August. So, not August, sorry, July, June, one of those. But yeah,
Recently.
recently. But yeah, the Tampa Bay's offense is skidding right now. So I think it's a perfect line. The perfect betting angle right now is Baltimore. They should be favored on the road. Market might undervalue them here due to the name value on Bradley. Baltimore's bats are buzzing right now. Tampa's bats are ice cold. The O's have the edge on the mound and in the pen. Back the birds. Back the birds.
Birds.
Yeah, that's hard to argue against. And personal question. For the first inning, you were saying the Orioles were the hottest in the first inning, or the Rays were for bats?
Orioles.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, they lead the whole MLB in first inning scoring rate since July 1st.
Oh.
Okay, I might play with that later. Thank you very much, sir. Angel, got anything to add on to that?
Yeah. Charlie Morton started the season with an 0-7 record, but over his last 8 starts, he's 5-0 with a 2.76 ERA. So I'm liking the Orioles today. The last 2 outings, Taj Bradley faced Baltimore. They were not good. They both added up to a total of 12 runs. He doesn't perform well against Baltimore. He gives up a lot of hits. Yeah, I just look for Baltimore to run up the hits, run up the runs. One thing I do like is Tampa Bay rookie Chandler Simpson. He's riding a 16-game hitting streak. I know you like your hitting streaks, so if you like that, that might be something to look at. But yeah, I'm liking Charlie Morton and the Orioles today because Taj Bradley used to be hyped up, but he just hasn't lived up to that, being of a top prospect back in the day, you know what I mean? Very streaky, but I just don't think he's too good against the Orioles.
All right, Aaron. Wait, did I start with you?
No, you didn't. Uncle Charlie. I'm not a fan of Taj Bradley at home too much when it's hot as shit outside. I think that's kind of a problem for him, but I'm not quite sure what to do with Charlie Morton. I had the over 8.5. I played that this morning, but I wanted to. My
Oh, for
kids are knocking on the door.
the whole matchup.
Yeah, but I'm not
You're
sure
good.
if Brandon Lau's in the lineup for the Rays. I was about to look at that. Hold on. My bad.
That's a good sign, though. You got good closing line value, though. The total's moved up to 9 total,
Yeah,
so that's a good sign.
there's a mob of kids at the door. But that's all where I was going with it. I like the over, and I felt pretty good about playing that over 8.5. I think both teams can get there at least. I don't know what's going on with the Rays lately, but they're still like 17-7 at home. Hopefully they score. So
All right. You go take care of that. We'll move on to the next game, and I'll come around to you last, all right? So next up, I mean, it happens.
Someone's in
And
trouble.
Someone.
the kids come in like, hey, you gave out a bad pick. I don't like that. I like
That's funny.
Let's see. Let's take the over under on spankings.
That's funny. Last up, we've got a banger. We're going to have Astros at Mariners. I said banger. I don't know who Walter is, but we've got Walter versus Castillo. I know he's good. And same as the others, very, very close odds, money line wise. Mariners are slight favorites at home. Angel, you want to kick us off this time?
Yeah, we got Brandon Walter for the Astros. He is, what do we got here? He's 1-2 in the season, 3.98 ERA, going against Luis Castillo. Houston is 4-3 against Seattle this season. They're 3-1 in the last 4 games. Astros are 1-5 over the last 6 games, but they were on a 6-1 run before that. They are definitely in for a matchup tonight. Cal Raleigh, I hope I'm saying his name right. He did just win the home run derby. He is on my fantasy team. I like to say that. I look for him to maybe get a hit or two. I am riding with Seattle tonight.
Okay, great. Yeah, surprisingly, Ellie's to get one or more hits is minus 190, which
Ooh.
I think are insane odds. If you parlay that with something else in the game,
Parlay
like
that
something
with that
safe.
what's
with
his
that
total
rookie from
bases
Tampa
at?
Bay. There you go.
Let's see. Total bases 2 plus is plus 110.
He has to get 2 hits.
Over 1.5.
He's gonna get 2 bases.
I mean, one hit, one home run, that's all it takes, but you never know what happens.
Yeah, I might mess around with that. Cool.
You
So
might
yeah,
just think,
and I always think that's crazy too. You said that they were like 1-5 in their last 6, and before that they were on like
over
a
the last 6,
6-1
yeah.
run. And I'm
Yo,
always just like, all right, so you basically evened out, but
crazy how it switches up.
I mean, it's a streaky sport in my opinion. Obviously, dominant teams will always dominate
Yeah.
over a fraction of time, but that's still crazy to me.
Yeah, Houston's also leading the AL West by 5 games, and they have the second easiest strength of schedule remaining. So if they can, pull some wins together, finish up there in one of those high seeds. But I'm liking Seattle tonight. I don't like the Astros.
Yeah, if all that happens, they might be able to cheat their way into the World
Hey,
Series and upset the Dodgers.
done it before. Do it again.
I'm just kidding, Joe. Let's go to you next. What do you think about this one? Houston and Seattle.
So yeah, Astros versus Mariners. Josh Walter versus Luis Castillo. Luis Castillo, we already know about him. Dominant 2.27 ERA at T-Mobile Park. He has a .94 WHIP, and he's been nails against West rivals. So AL West rivals to be exact. Astros are a little inconsistent right now, though. They're scoring 3.1 runs a game over the last 7, struggling versus upper tier righties. And Castillo actually dominated them earlier this year. 7 innings pitched and 2 hits total with 0 earned runs in that game. So he's already lit them up. Houston's bullpen also is fatigued. They're overworked this month. 5+ innings needed in 4 out of the last 6 games. So the bullpens just literally have been playing half the game, more than half the game recently. Seattle also has a power surge right now, 14 home runs in over the last 6 games. And Julio Rodriguez is actually back in MVP form now. Mariners, they open as short favorites, but Castillo's home dominance and momentum does give them the edge here. In Seattle, Castillo is like a fortress. And with Houston's lineup fading, the Mariners do have the edge in this nightcap. So, I like the Mariners. Give me them. All signs point to them winning.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. And great point about the bullpen as well. I know we just finished up with the All-Star break. Frankly, I work at a desk job and it takes me more than 3 days to recover from a bunch of work. And I know they're professional athletes, but I feel like it still has to take its toll, you know? When you look at things over the course of a week or a month or a season, it starts to look brutal. Very, very good insight. Thank you, Joe. And Aaron, you want to finish us up? What do you got for us for Astros at Mariners, Walter and Castillo?
Paley Walter. That's or whatever his name is. Brandon. Brandon, right? Yeah.
Brandon. There we
We
go.
got like 5 names today. Man, the Astros are 5 wins ahead of the Mariners, and I don't think they win today. But I mean, I was looking at that picture, and I forget where I read it. I think it was on X somewhere. I was looking at Astros stuff, and the Mariners are 14-6 against pitchers with under 4 ERAs at home. But I was looking at an under in this game still. I'm gonna be on the under island, I think.
Total's pretty low.
Yeah, I hope it's 7.5 still.
It is.
22 of the last Astros under games as an underdog. The under hit.
Okay.
I mean, they're on the road again. They're not the Astros on the road. I was not 100% who their final lineup is going to be tonight, but I know before the break they weren't whole. They were missing Paredes and somebody else was out. I forget. You know, I'm not an Astro fan. Yeah, they were missing a few people. They pulled up their number 1 prospect, Bryce Matthews, I think his name. He's a batter. I'm not sure. I want to see their lineup, but I'm really leaning towards that under 7.5.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah. Well, it's minus 116 right now, so
You just
there's a
gotta
lot
you
of good
gotta
value
throw in
there.
that big chunk of it's a big division game. It's gonna probably wise to just blindly bet it under in those anyways.
Yeah, I get that. Absolutely. I think I batted an eye when Angel said that they had played each other X number of times, and I was like, seriously?
Yeah.
Long season.
That's, yeah, really long season. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for all the insight. I've got some notes for my personal betting ventures and can't wait to see how everything turns out. Let's dive into Lock It In segment and see what picks each of our experts has for us today. And we're going to kick things off with Joe since we have a massive UFC card coming up. Joe, what do you got for us this weekend or tonight? And there's no and. I'm excited.
All right, so for the lock it in segment, I'm gonna give out 2 best bets. Best bet number 1, let's go to UFC. Holloway versus Dustin Poirier, fight to go the distance. Holloway, besides Ilya Taporia, has never been knocked out. That dude knocks out everyone, just like Khabib takes everyone down. Poirier has gone the full 5 rounds with some of the most dangerous strikers. And like I said, the last fight went the distance. That last fight is going to be a better indicator than the first fight that ended in a first round submission, which was Holloway's debut. So they're both durable. It's tailor-made war. They're going to beat the crap out of each other, and you have to have a pretty good chin to survive in this fight. They both do. I don't think that Ilya Taporia knockout is going to affect Holloway's chin too bad. It's not like when Taporia knocked out Charles Oliveira. Now that was a knockout. Holloway got flash knocked out. And then, so yeah, fight to go the distance. I think you can get it for plus 100 right now or close to. Is that right, Erik?
No, they made some adjustments. I have it right now on DK for minus 145. But honestly, there's something about that. It doesn't bother me as much as minus 150. I would take those odds in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it's still drop. I think it's worth the juice for sure. You could probably even hedge a fight to be end in knockout. Maybe that's good plus money for a lower amount just to cover yourself if you lose the decision. But for best bet number 2, we're going to switch over to MLB. I actually like the Blue Jays in the first 5 innings. Their money line versus the Giants. And like we said, Chris Bassett, he's pretty good at home. Verlander is showing signs of first inning shakiness, allowing runs in 3 out of his 5 last starts. Toronto bats are pretty early. The Blue Jays ranked top 5 in hard hit rate in innings 1 through 5 over the past 10 games. I just want to fade Verlander too. So I like Toronto Blue Jays money line first 5 innings.
Got it. Thank
And
you.
we're done.
Yeah, excellent picks, and I appreciate as always. You're good at what you do because you find the value in UFC. So I cannot wait. And
Yes, sir.
let's go Angel next. I'm just going clockwise around my screen. What are
Yes,
your lock it in picks?
I got 2 bets today. One we already talked about, Baltimore Orioles to win today. It's plus 106. I'm pretty big on Charlie Morton right now. Taj Bradley does not perform good at home. 5.55 ERA in 48 innings of work. We talked about them earlier, but I'm going to take Orioles with the win. I have a one UFC bet. We're going Max Holloway knocking out Poirier tomorrow. That's it.
Damn.
You heard it.
Okay.
You heard the man.
And we got that right now at plus 350. Holloway
Let's
by
go.
KO.
Get the
That's
Hawaiian
pretty
back in the
crazy.
victory column. Let's go. Sorry,
Oh, it's gonna
Poirier.
be so good. I can't wait. All right. And finish us up, please. What are your lock it in picks for today?
I'm gonna back the Royals today and fade Alcantara. Not a fan of him. He's not the one on the team for the Marlins anymore. They got Perez and they got I'm drawing a blank on the other guy's name. But the Royals are minus 115 on the road, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
They are.
I know they're on the road, but I don't have any
Sorry.
underlying information to tell you I should back them on the road versus at home. But I think they're just we've seen before the break they were starting to pick it up a little bit. They were putting runs on the board like they weren't before. Their games were less boring. And Seth Lugo, can I get a minus 115? You kidding me? I mean, it just seems like nobody has faith in the Royals, and Seth Lugo's a dominant pitcher. I'm definitely going to take that, whether it's bait or not. That's number one. And I like the under 8.5 in the Rangers and the Tigers today, too. I think it's a good pitching matchup. I can't bet like a first five under because you never know. When Texas bats heat up, they seem to two or three guys are getting on base. But I like taking Texas unders at home still. All the pre All-Star break, all that drama's gone and everybody's back to playing baseball again. Like 26-13, Texas is still to the under at home. So it's a pretty profitable way to go with them. And every time you get an 8.5, especially if I can get an 8.5 under at home with Texas, I'll usually always take it.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, those are about
That's a good
it for
tip.
me, though.
All right. Cool. Thank all of you. Really appreciate you coming in, giving us all this information, lock it in picks, even some money line hacks information. We recapped everything from last week. Tomorrow's looking like it's going to be an amazing card. There are some crazy baseball matchups tonight with very close odds. So I'm excited for the next 48 hours of sports. And thank you to everybody watching for joining us today. Always greatly appreciated. Put the picks in, trust the system, / bet responsibly. Shouldn't just blindly encourage people. But either way, thank you to our guests and audience, and have a good weekend. Good luck making some money, and check out Moneyline Hacks Discord when you get a chance. It pays for itself very quickly.
Let's cash.
Let's do it.
All right. Have a good weekend.
See ya.